Hi guys, welcome back to Dadlicious Eats. Now today we're going to cook an Italian flatbread called focaccia. This recipe is so simple and it's made with great tasting garlic and rosemary olive oil. Right, let's get to it. So this is super simple, not many ingredients. First of all, we've got 500 grams of bread flour, 30 milliliters of olive oil, 370 milliliters of water, 8 grams of salt, and 10 grams of dried yeast. So to start with, let's pop our flour into a bowl. I'm using French type 55 bread flour for this, but any bread flour is fine. And then we're going to add to it, first of all, our yeast, followed by the salt. Make sure you keep them separate because salt can actually kill the yeast. So we're going to add in the olive oil, and followed by the water. So I'd make sure this isn't super cold water, maybe sort of lukewarm room temperature water. Let's give that a mix with a spoon initially. You could just put your hand straight in, but you're going to end up with dough sticking all over your hand. So give it a whiz with a spoon first. Usually I would actually use my mixer, but to show you how easy this is, I wanted to do this by hand. So now that has come together nicely, we're going to pop that out onto the counter and we're going to start kneading the dough. So hopefully you're already a subscriber, but if not, why not give it a go? I've got tons of family recipes that I want to share with you. I've got tons of tips and tricks. I'd absolutely love it if you were to leave a like for the video. It really helps me out. And if you've got any comments, drop them below and I'll absolutely get back to you. So we're going to knead this for about 10 minutes or so. And what we want to do is make sure that we are working the gluten in the flour. So stretch it out, fold it back over, turn it around, stretch it out, fold it back over, and turn it around. And what you're going to end up with is a nice ball of very smooth dough. And you should see it here starting to come together nicely. It really is this simple to make your own bread. I make this 2-3 times a week, a different type of bread each time, but it's so much cheaper, it's so much healthier, and it's pretty therapeutic as well working with the dough. So we're going to oil up a bowl and we're going to pop our dough in there, and we're basically going to leave that for about 2 hours or so to rise. So just pop it into the bowl there, cover it with either cling film or just a plastic bag, clean one obviously, and put it somewhere warm. While that's rising, we're just going to prepare our oil. So this is a garlic and rosemary olive oil. So all we're going to do is smash up a couple of bulbs of garlic, pop them into a small bowl, add a couple of sprigs of rosemary. So this is just from the garden, it's well worth growing your own herbs. And then we're going to pour in a good glug of olive oil, so probably about 100 milliliters or so. And we're just going to set that to a side. So after a couple of hours, the dough should be ready. And you can see here it's expanded quite a lot, and you can see it's nicely bubbling away there as well. So we're going to take the pan that we're going to cook this in, so probably a 30 centimeter by 20 centimeter pan, and we're going to put in a good glug of olive oil. That's going to stop the bread sticking to the pan. And then pop in our bread. So it should be a little bit sticky, we don't want it too dry. We're going to then push this out into the corners of the pan. So you're going to get a little bit sticky. Good tip is actually cover your fingers with a little bit of oil and it will help reduce the stickiness. It doesn't necessarily have to go right into the corner because it's going to keep rising. Once you've got it most of the way there, that'll do for now. We're going to pop that back into the plastic bag or pop the cling film back over it, and we're going to leave that for probably another hour and a quarter, hour and a half or so. Again, pop it back into a warm place. So an hour and a half later, here we go. It's looking good again, it's risen again, and we're going to start making the trademark focaccia dimples. All you need to do here is just poke your fingers in, have a bit of fun. And that's going to catch the olive oil that we're going to be pouring into it in a second. And that means what you're going to get is these little pools of oil that start to fry the bread, but also soak into the bread. So we're going to pour over the olive oil. So you want to keep back probably about a third of it, but as you can see, the little dimples that you've created are filling up with olive oil now. So that's looking good. So sprinkle that with some salt. And then we're going to start putting little sprigs of rosemary into the garlic bread. If you don't have rosemary, you don't necessarily have to use rosemary. You could also cut up cherry tomatoes or olives, or you could just have it plain. It's completely up to you. So we're going to cook this at 200 degrees for about 20 minutes until nice and golden. And here we go. This is looking absolutely perfect now. Look at that. The smell of this is amazing. So leave that somewhere to cool, probably for about 10 minutes or so. But then pour on the remainder of the olive oil, and that will really soak into the bread. And what you'll find as you bite in is you get these nice little pools of olive oil that explode with flavour in your mouth. Make sure you leave it to cool long enough so that it isn't still steaming inside. You want to make sure the consistency of the bread inside is great. I could easily eat this on its own. I could probably devour half the loaf immediately, but this was also great as a sandwich filler, as a side dish. This is absolutely perfect. The texture here is perfect, nice and springy, but also you've got nice little golden fried parts on the top. It really is simple to make, it's delicious, it is cheap, so why not give it a go? Thank you for watching my video, hope you found it really useful. I'll be back with more recipes soon, but until next time, take care.